What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be going over none other than the deck you voted for, and that was BT-12 Gallantmon. With all the fancy new support, we get to look at it. Let me know down in the comments if you guys actually like the editing style, the B-roll cut, as they say, for when I present the cards off. Guys, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it, shall we? So first off, let's get into the Digitama, boys and girls. First off, we are playing for Digimon. So this card is in here to allow us to draw consistently. When we attack, as long as we are a Gallantmon, Growlmon, or a Gallantmon, we get to basically get a free draw out of this, which is super important for this deck because we need to search for our combo pieces, which is very important. So we definitely need 4 of this, and you could play a 5th Digitama, but to be honest with you, you probably won't need it. You'll be able to apply enough pressure that way. So next, we are playing a very important one of, in my opinion. We are playing Gallantmon. So Gallantmon is really useful because as long as you have a Renamon, a Gillamon, or a Terriermon, this gets to be reduced by 2. So this becomes a 1 cost to play. He cannot attack, which is fine. We don't need him to apply damage. But his usefulness here is because as long as when we Digivolve, then our Digimon gains a little bit of DP boost, gains a draw and a memory gain out of this deal by just suspending the Gallantmon. So Gallantmon is very useful for us. I think all in all, I think 1 is really just a very solid piece to just continue applying pressure. Being able to get that extra 2000 DP can make or break the deck's difference because we need to hit over certain thresholds. So, especially with the new raid mechanic, we want to hit magic numbers to especially get over big boss Digimon. So the next card we're going to talk about, though, in the deck is going to be not 1, but 4 of BT-12's Gallantmon. This is a 3-cost Digimon to play, but it has a really good inheritable by, as long as this Digimon is a Growlmon or a Gallantmon in its name, it gets plus 2000 DP for the turn, which helps for the raid Gallantmon be able to get over most boss Digimon. So this is going to really help apply pressure that way. But it has a very nice on-play skill. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add any Takatos among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. We play enough Takatos that hopefully we might see 1, and that's all we need because the evolution to go above him actually lets us play a free Takato if we don't have a Takato on board. So a combo is very nice for the Growlmon in the set, but it's just worth picking up there. So 4 of them is really good in my opinion. So the next card we're going to talk about is none other than Gallantmon from EX2. So EX2 Gallantmon is really good in my opinion. That is because it has some decent inheritables here. One is if you have a Growlmon or Gallantmon in this card's name when attacking, you get to pop a 3000 DP Digimon. That is its inheritable, which is decent, and it gets rid of rookies very easily, which you might want to control the board that way, which triggers your other effects in the deck. But on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Growlmon or a Gallantmon among them to your hand, and then add 1 Takato that you find. So you either get a Growlmon or you get a Gallantmon, but you're always going to have to grab the Takato if it's there. So that is something to really take an eye on, and then you get to place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Top 4 searching is really good for this deck. It helps get you to your card pieces very easily, but 4 of them is probably a must in this list. Then we do play 4 Gallantmon from the starter deck. This Gallantmon is basically really powerful because this allows you to go into your Gallantmon very easily. So if your opponent has a level 6, you can Digivolve this Gallantmon into a Gallantmon straight from your hand, which will lead to being some very powerful combos because now you're getting to skip an evolution, and then because now you didn't have to climb up and you're just going straight into a Gallantmon, you get to apply pressure this way. And that's really good in my opinion. You want to apply pressure as best you can, but also when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, draw 1 card. So we have some decent and deleting effects Nothing that's going to cry home for. We can delete most champions very easily. So if there's a champion up, we can pop it. But if there's no champion on board, we at least have some alternative effects that can at least hopefully add in some decent value there. But all in all, you want this Gallantmon because of the draw, but also because is the fact that he can warp into his Gallantmon form very easily. So this really is an important key piece, and I think you should always play 4 of, just because it is a good out, especially if he was in raising. You have another way of getting back into things. Now we're going to go into the champion lines. So first off, we have none other than 4 copies of the new Growlmon. The new Growlmon really does some very interesting stuff. When digivolving, if you do not have a Tocado in play, you may play one from your hand without paying its memory cost. This is super important because a lot of the decks just had trouble of getting pieces out. And being able to now play a Tamer while digivolving is huge for a lot of these decks now, because now we're in a different tempo. Because before you had to decide, am I digivolving, or am I digivolving and giving my opponent 4 memory or 3 memory, or am I just going to digivolve now and get my Tamer out and then digivolve up even further, which is now plausible with these kind of cards. What's nice is your turn. When this Digimon with Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, it gets plus 2000 DP. So similar to the Gallantmon from BT-12, you get to boost up your Gallantmon even further, or even your Growlmon, which makes them easier to survive attacks into security or easier into anything else. So I think this really does make or break the difference here. And I think Growlmon is really good. And that is just my opinion. So 4 of them is a must for this deck, in my opinion. So next we are playing 3 Growlmon from EX02. This card is one of the few 3-ofs we play in this deck because it gets to digivolve on top of any Gallantmon for a 2 cost, which is really nice. We want that. But when digivolving, it's not on deletion. There is an errata on the EX3 version. When this Digimon would digivolve, you get to delete one of your opponent's 3000 DP or less. But if you didn't delete anything, both of you mill 2 cards, which now turbos your deck's end goal game, because now you get to apply pressure this way and make it really harder for your opponent. But really what's nice is when your turn, when this Digimon is attacking, you may delete one of your other Digimon, gain security +1 for the turn. So this now allows you to apply pressure this way, and Growlmon's just really good all in all. I think playing 3 of it is fine, and we'll probably see some change-ups once we get to EX4, but with EX3, we got some decent support there. Next, we do have 1, 2, 3 Growlmon from the starter deck. This card is just in here. You could definitely play the X antibody version, but to me, I feel like this one's just a little bit better. It's a 2-cost evolve, but when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. So as long as we can pop something, we gain some extended plays or keep it our turn kind of situation. I think 3 of these Growlmons are really good, and when EX4 comes around, though, you definitely replace this for the black Growlmon, just because our top ends already has some decent ways of getting up. So the next card we're going to talk about is a great 4 of in the form from BT-12, and that is War Growlmon. This card is so good, in my opinion. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less, which is really good. But if you didn't delete anything, now you get to digivolve right into Gallantmon, which means that if we combo it in with Tocado, we can instantly go into another Digimon like Gallantmon. Now applying in Blitz, now we can either raid into one of their unsuspended Digimon or with the highest DP, or we go right into their security. So not a bad trade-off, but also when attacking, if there is no Digimon in your opponent's battle area, if this Digimon is a Gallantmon, you get to gain 2 memory. So this lets you get back into your pieces, especially if they have nothing left, and it can keep it your turn after blitzing. Not a bad trade-off in my opinion. Next, we do have 3 War Growlmon. So this one is from EX3. This card can Digivolve on top of any Growlmon for a 3 cost in its name, by the way, which is really good because this means Black War Growlmon or even regular War Growlmon count. But when Digivolving, trash 3 cards from the top of each player's deck. If the total number of cards is 5 or more, you get to play a Gallantmon or a Takato from your trash, which, wow, we get some free value out of there. You get a Searcher, or you get your Blitz, or your Tamer. So something like that really does make a difference, in my opinion. So it's very useful to have, and I think 3 of them is just fine, because you definitely want to go into the other War Growlmon. But, hey, that's just me. Next, we are playing 4 Gallantmon from BT-12. So, this card here has Raid, which lets you swing into any of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. That is the highest DP. Just remember, it's got to be unsuspended and the highest DP, which is fine. But when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 6 Digimon. But when attacking, delete one of your opponent's level 6 Digimon. If nothing was deleted, trash a free security. So you get at least 2 attacks in very easily if they don't have a 6,000 DP or less Digimon on board. Boom. But if not, you're just controlling the board still. So you have 2 pops in a turn, which is really good. But also, you get to apply pressure this way. I think this is a really good 4 of, in my opinion. Then we do have 3 Gallantmon X Antibody. So this Digivolves on top of a Gallantmon for 1. So when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. If no Digimon was deleted this way, unsuspend it, but your turn. If you have X Antibody in this Digievolution, or if it's just a Gallantmon underneath it, you get to trash a security if you deleted a Digimon. So that gets a free value out of it, and I think the restand's really good because it can get you a second attack in sometimes, or you get to remove a threat off the board, especially if they only have 1 Digimon on board. That means you get some decent value there. And then we get to do into the final card I'm recommending playing is Gallantmon Crimson Mode. You can play just Blitz Omni if you feel like this is too expensive, which is justified. Both are applying pressure in their own way. So when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. So Crimson Mode is going to remove threats off the board after, let's say, even if you go into Gallantmon X Antibody. So now you get rid of their lowest and now their highest. Usually that just kills off the board. But when Digivolving, when attacking, trash one of your opponent's security. For every 10 cards in their trash, trash 1 more. So now this allows you to get free damage in, especially in the Setcon matchup. This really helps out. We apply a lot of pressure that way, and I think that's very useful in my opinion. And then finally, we're getting into Tamers now. We do play 1, 2, 3, 4 of the new Biomerge Takato Memory Setter. So he sets you to 3, but what's really nice is your turn, by taking a Growlmon, a War Growlmon, and this card, putting it underneath one of your Digimon, you can Digivolve straight, well, under your Gallantmon, by the way. You get to Digivolve straight into a very powerful Gallantmon sometimes. With an added 2,000 DP boost by this effect. It is paying the memory cost, so it's not a free evolve, but you're going to pay 4. But it's not bad, especially if you didn't have a Gallantmon in Raising that was the starter deck one that lets you Digivolve up. But this basically allows you to Biomerge and produce. I just wish he had a, inheritable effect, but I understand. I mean, it would have been nice to have a continuous inheritable on the Staccato, but that is just what it is. 4 of them is really good. And then we are playing 3 Takatos that allows you to Blitz, which is really good because we need to be able to Blitz in this game. But also, your turn, when a opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. So this helps reduce costs on certain things, especially if we use certain options and we get to pop some big Digimon. We can rest the Takatos, and then boom, we gain some memory and reducing the play cost of that option. So I think 3 Takatos is really good. Then we are playing 2 Gaia Force. EX4 is going to introduce a new Gaia Force that you're going to want to play over this one. But for now, I think having 2 Gaia Forces is just a good oh crap button that is just you want to have for your deck, in my opinion. So Gaia Force being able to blow something up, really useful. I think you can't go wrong with it because it procs a lot of our inheritables, and our Tocados can reduce this to a lovely 5-cost removal option, which I think is very good, especially just killing off a Digimon. Even if they hit insecurity, this is just really powerful. And then finally, our consistency piece is Red Memory Boost. So this card lets you check the top 4 cards of your deck, add any red Digimon that you find there to your hand, and then place the rest at the bottom deck in any order, but also delayed gain 2 memory. This extends our plays, and I think 2 red mem boosts just helps us filter in, especially worst case, it is another searcher that we needed. So I think that's pretty, all in all, really solid. What did you guys think of this list? Is there any improvements or changes you would make to this Gallantmon? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know about the B-roll shots that I shot for this, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Catch you in the next video. Peace!